What's up guys, Nate Taylor here with Full-Time Filmmaker, and today we're going to be comparing one of the top professional camera bags on the market against a new budget-friendly camera bag. These bags are the $400 Peter McKinnon Nomatic bag and the FTF Gear camera bag at $159. We created this video to help you decide if the different features each bag offers are worth the extra price you pay. And for reference of why we don't recommend really cheap bags, like this $30 Caden backpack, we'll show you some reasons of why we recommend spending more than this to protect your expensive camera gear. Now, there are so many things to look for in a camera bag, but we've narrowed it down to our top main things we look for when buying a camera backpack. Our first category is obviously price. First, determine what you're willing and able to spend. Obviously, some people can't afford a $400 camera backpack, but after owning and testing countless numbers of camera bags from $30 to $100, all the way up to this $400 bag, the FTF Gear backpack is about as low of a price point as we recommend for housing expensive gear. I would honestly steer clear of the $30 Caden bag and other bags like it for reasons that we'll discuss. Like I said, I personally own the PM Nomatic bag, and it is my favorite bag for reasons we'll discuss, but is overkill price-wise for a lot of people and not what I recommend for budget creators. But now moving on to the second thing to look for, which is weight. When you're traveling with big bags like this, every pound counts. So having a lighter backpack can make all the difference. In this case, the FTF bag weighs in at 5.1 pounds and the PM bag at 5.75 pounds. Even though the Caden bag is the lightest and wins in the weight category at less than 2 pounds, what you lose out on weight, you lose out on storage space and quality materials as well. So this is a pro of cheaper bags, is that they are lighter, but we'll talk about how that may not be worth the trade-off for you. But between the PM and the FTF bags though, the more surprising thing to me is the FTF bag comes with wheels, which we'll get into a bit later, but is still lighter than the PM bag. But now moving on to our next category, which is storage and carrying capacity. The FTF bag has a capacity of 45 liters, and the PM bag can carry 35 liters but is expandable to 42 liters. Now the small Caden bag has a small capacity of only 15 liters. This is where the $30 camera bag begins to fall apart. In my experience, you can never have enough space in a camera bag, and both of these bags have massive gear compartments, which are completely customizable and can hold about the same amount of gear in the camera compartment. Although the little guy has customizable dividers, this bag is so small. When I loaded my kit in here, I could only fit maybe a fourth of what I would normally bring to my shoots. Not to mention the dividers are flimsy and come detached easily. So for more serious pros, this won't cut it. But inside the camera compartment of the PM bag, it has these stiff fabric covered dividers that you can configure multiple ways and attaches with super strong Velcro, which is not going anywhere. These dividers are my favorite I've ever had in a camera bag, so I do prefer these over the FTF bag dividers, which are made completely out of foam. Contrary to the cheaper bag, these do have a bit more fill to them, so they feel higher quality. But in my experience, these start to lose shape after a while, but the PM dividers are super sturdy and hold their shape, sometimes a little too well, and I have to adjust them to fit a certain lens. Then you have numerous sleeves and pouches to fit SD cards, ND filters, etc. I do like the FTF dividers here more than the PM bag just because I like that it's got plastic covering the pocket where the PM bag is just mesh. The Caden bag doesn't even offer sleeves and pouches besides this tiny laptop sleeve, which takes us to our next point, laptop storage. As a videographer, it's almost always essential to have a laptop with you for dumping footage and editing on the road. Both of these bags do have space for a 16-inch MacBook, but the PM laptop sleeve is on the back and the FTF laptop sleeve is on the front. The Caden bag can't even fit a laptop in the sleeve, so maybe it's only for small iPads or iPhones. The PM bag also has a sleeve on the inside of the bag, but only holds smaller laptops or iPads. Now, Parker prefers having the laptop sleeve on the front because with other backpacks he's had in the past with a back laptop sleeve, it makes the backing too rigid and uncomfortable when you bend over or hike long distances with a stiff laptop up against your back. But the PM bag is the only bag in my experience that has good enough padding that you don't really feel the rigidness of the laptop. Other bags, however, are miserable, and if it wasn't for the padding on the PM bag, my vote would be with the FTF bag. The other thing that is nice about both of these bags is that the laptop sleeve isn't inside the gear department like a lot of other bags. It just makes it a lot nicer so I don't have to open my kit in front of a whole bunch of strangers or unzip the whole bag just to get to my laptop. Onto the outside of the bags. The PM Nomatic bag wins in this category. This front compartment is expandable to fit things like clothes or even the RS2 while you have a tripod mounted on the side. So if I'm doing a weekend trip, it is really nice not to have a separate bag for my 2 pairs of clothes. Now both bags have the ability to hold a tripod on the outside, but the ability to have a whole expandable compartment is game changing. Now don't get me wrong, both of these bags can fit a surprising amount of gear, but are very heavy when fully loaded. But can they carry those heavy loads comfortably? Which takes us to our next point, comfort level. As you may have noticed already, the FTF bag has wheels and a hidden pull handle that basically turns your backpack into a luggage bag. Carrying 30 to 50 plus pounds of camera gear can really hurt your back as you walk through miles of airports if you travel a lot. So being able to take the bag off and just wheel it around is a huge game changer. You have this carry handle up at the top, which is extendable to 40.6 inches between wheel and handle, so it's great for tall guys like me. Now you may ask, what if the wheels are dirty and you convert it back to a backpack? Well, it comes with a cover as well to cover up those wheels. Although unless you have a wider backside, the wheels don't really touch you when you're walking anyway. Now that being said, the PM bag has a little sleeve here on the back that slips right over the handle of a carry-on bag, like so. This is honestly a lifesaver as well, just to be able to take that load off. But I do have to mention, in this mode, the strap is really tight, so it puts strain on the zippers and pinches your fingers while holding the handle. So even though that part isn't my favorite, the shoulder straps are one of my favorite parts about this bag. They are very rugged like a hiking backpack, but are very comfortable, which is rare to find. The FTF backpack shoulder straps are big and plush with foam inside, which is super comfortable as well, but personally, I like the Peter McKinnon straps better. The straps on all cheaper bags like this one are just miserable. They dig into your shoulders because they're not wide enough and don't offer near enough padding. This is really where you lose out on if you go with any cheaper bag than the FTF gear bag. Like I said, both of these bags are great in the comfort level, but if you do a lot of airport travel or walking on flat surface locations, being able to convert the bag into a wheeled carry-on is probably your biggest selling point to go with something like the FTF bag to save yourself from future bag surgeries. But moving on now to our next category, which is durability. Both of these bags are definitely rugged and ready to take on the elements. I have put both of these bags through the ringer and had no problem whatsoever. That being said, the shell and materials of the Nomatic bag feel premium. I mean, it better for $400, right? But for $159, the FTF bag has super durable canvas, which can take quite a beating. It just doesn't have the luxe appeal to it. Both bags have super strong carry handles that are thick and comfortable, even with a lot of gear. Needless to say, they will both keep your gear safe. Whereas the small bag, I'm not too sure, as the zippers already came apart while putting even the smallest amount of strain on them. Which takes us to the next thing I want to touch on, zippers. Like I mentioned before, the PM Nomatic bag is rugged and so are the zippers. Maybe a little bit too rugged in the zipper compartment. I find them to be extremely stiff and hard to zip up sometimes. But that being said, rugged zippers like this rarely break, so sometimes you just have to pick your battles. The FTF bag has nice zippers that feel durable, but after some years of wear and tear, I feel like they might give out sooner than the PM bag. But out of all the budget backpacks I've had in my career, these are far superior to any of those, so only time will tell if they wear down or not. Next is water resistance. Both of the nicer bags are water resistant, which is super nice and something you need in a camera bag. They say the small one can protect against water, but after I saw how cheap the zippers were, I'm not too sure. Now the FTF bag has a rain cover that keeps the rain out, but the premium materials of the PM Nomatic bag is already what keeps the water out. So again, that is another feature that really drives up the price, but was worth it to me to have those luxe materials and the water resistance without having to have a separate cover to worry about. So point goes to the PM Nomatic. And the last thing to look for in a camera bag is style. Now this point is not very important to some people, but to me, it is very important. As someone who likes to take pictures of their gear, the look of my bag is very important and probably one of the biggest reasons I bought the Nomatic bag in the first place. That being said, both of these bags are very good looking and keep a very minimal and sleek design throughout the whole bag. The PM bag is going to be better on your Instagram though, if that's what you're into. Now there are so many camera backpacks out there where you can mix and match features based on what you're looking for. These bags are just ones that I use and love and what I would recommend based on the features that are most important to me. Really, you can't go wrong with either of these. If you want style and luxe material, go with the PM bag. If you want to save $250 and want the added feature of wheels for the airport travel, the FTF bag is is the way to go. But hopefully this video helped you decide on what camera bag you should buy next. Links are in the description below to each of the bags. And even though we love talking gear on this channel, we always say it's not as much about the gear as it is about the skills behind the gear. So make sure to check out Full-Time Filmmaker, where we have over 500 tutorials to help you improve as a filmmaker and photographer. Don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. And if you have any further questions, please let me know.